If you are an ambitious, driven woman and you're trying to be consistent at something, but it's not happening, I would actually wonder if you're trying to be consistent at the wrong thing. I'm going to make a bold statement, and there are layers. So I've never struggled with consistency. I probably am the most stubborn person you'll ever meet. If I say I'm going to do X, you can bet your ish I'm going to do X. Also, there are many things I've decided I was going to pursue and I failed. I noticed there's a pattern. Every time I was trying and forcing myself to stay consistent at something and it didn't happen, I was either using the wrong approach. I was either trying to stay consistent at the wrong thing in the wrong way, it was the wrong timing, it was the wrong platform, it was the wrong driver motivating me. There was always an indicator that something was off. And when something is off for me, and I've noticed this pattern in ambitious driven women, it creates resistance. And that's why you cannot stay consistent. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're not capable. You are. You are capable. You're not lazy. It's because there's something you need to notice. There's something you need to pay attention to, and you need to rearrange and fix. So it unlocks the consistency. For me, I have so many examples, like on Instagram, exercise. Oh my God. Before finding my way of enjoying exercises, I had to try so many different disciplines. I never really enjoyed going to the gym. Really not for me. I could never stay consistent at that, and I really never liked that. I need to do things in my own space. I tried when I was little, I tried tennis, I tried volleyball, I tried dance, I tried swimming, and I was kind of fairly good at all of them, but I wasn't able to stay consistent at any of them. And then in my adult life, I stayed consistent for many years with yoga, although I was changing styles and exploring different styles. But every day and doing it as my own practice and pursuing that daily showing up consistently was a struggle, even many years in. Even if I knew it was so good for myself, for my mental health, for my emotional health, for my body's health, it was a struggle. It wasn't until I found bar and allowed myself to switch up the way I do exercise and train. Sometimes it's softer, sometimes it's weight training, sometimes it's more flexibility and mobility, that I realized, okay, now this works for me. So you see, I was trying to force one style, one way of doing it, a certain expectation of time, like at least an hour, things like that. And it just didn't work for me. And now I work with my cycles. I work with singular. I work with my cycle. I work with my energy levels. I work also with my creativity and how I feel like on that day. And that's how I just happen to stay consistent and have been consistent for 5, 6 years now. And same happened with social media platforms. Like on YouTube, this is day 47 of posting daily, recording daily, and publishing daily. And it came with ease. Ease I've never experienced before on any social media platform. Yes, I have been consistent on TikTok. I posted daily, twice a day for over a year, I think a year and a half or so. Yes, I have been consistent on Instagram, but it was never really super long term. And there was also a sort of a struggle. And I'm not saying that being consistent at something comes without struggle. Of course, there is. But you learn to work your way through those daily natural resistance that may come up here and there, which is just human. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like recording today. I don't feel like showing up. But then when I do it, I just come alive. And that's how I know I'm meant to be doing this thing. And that's how I train the muscle to ease the resistance, because I know once I take the leap, I say yes, then I'm chill. Then everything is okay. Then I feel so much better. So the challenge, my challenge in your belief is, if you're driven, if there's something you're trying to be consistent at and you simply cannot, for the love of God, be consistent at, gosh, allow yourself to not, don't first blame yourself. Don't first assume you're being lazy or finding excuses. Maybe you are. I don't know you. Maybe you are, but I've seen this pattern play out a lot. Chances are that something is off, and it's your job to find what that is. Is it the wrong way of doing it? Is it the wrong pacing? Is it wrong timing? Are you driven by a surface level driver that isn't fueling you enough to keep going? I talked about this in yesterday's video. Finding your deeper why, finding your core fuel, the invisible driver running your life that is supposed to be running your life, that is meant to be running your life, that happens to be your core value, your core desire, and your core driver. You're clearly capable. So I will get curious rather than blaming, rather than pissed off, rather than frustrating. I would get curious and I would wonder, okay, maybe I'm trying to be consistent at something I'm not meant to be consistent at. Let yourself have this, open yourself to this possibility, and it might just change everything for you. Wrong project, wrong approach, wrong timing. I cannot tell you how many times I was like, why can't I stay consistent with this? I can be consistent at so many things. Why is it not happening here? And the answer was always in the misalignment. There was some piece that was missing, because sometimes resistance is reasonable. Resistance always sounds reasonable. Resistance to doing something. It always sounds reasonable, but sometimes it's more fear driven, and sometimes is pointing to misalignment and actually showing up for your highest good. So it's actually resistance you're meant to pay attention to and meant to listen to rather than overcome. That's a very important distinction. And I feel that sometimes we go so easily into self-blame, into, oh, I'm being lazy. Oh, I'm not capable enough. I'm not bold enough. I'm not passionate enough. I'm not driven enough. I'm not clear enough. I'm too this. I'm too less of this. It's so easy to go into that place of self-blame and self-shame. Whereas in fact, often the reason you're not feeling it, it's wisdom. It's not a worry. It's not a fear. It's not laziness. It's just wisdom. And you just need to listen and trust it and pay attention and give yourself grace. Yeah. So, how to know? Look back at your life and find proof and notice what are the things where you were being easily consistent. And again, easily doesn't mean there were no struggles at all, because anything you try to stay consistent at or you plan to stay consistent at for a long time, you will have days where you just don't feel like it. Like I'm on this 100 daily YouTube journey, video journey, creating long form videos every day for 100 days. And honestly, I had set already a bigger goal that I will share later on. And I have no doubt I already had days where I wish I had videos batched. Sometimes I manage to batch a couple videos just to give, you never know, maybe Wi-Fi is off, maybe I'm traveling, maybe I just can't record that day. But over usually I don't have backup. I don't have something batched for the next day. So I need to show up every day because I care about making this happen. I've committed to this. It aligns with my value, freedom. I want to create a bigger impact. I want YouTube to become my main hub for my business. And I love this platform. I love creating this way. So it fuels so many drivers for me. It's overall easy, but it does overall simple and clear and makes sense. But it's not every day. It's not easy every day. So that's minor friction, minor resistance that it's my job to overcome every day to grow. Because whenever you're growing, whenever you're stretching yourself, whenever you decide to play bigger, to take up space, to bring in more visibility, more income, more clients, just open to receive more, you're gonna be stretched. And you're gonna feel resistance, you're gonna feel friction. That's a whole other game. That's a whole other situation. But if you have proof that when something you care about something, when something matters to you, you can stay consistent, you can overcome the friction, you just go. You are driven, you are ambitious, and there's something where you've been struggling to make that happen, please look at the big picture and look deeper. Like widen your perspective and also look deeper at your deeper why, at your approach, at what is motivating you, at what is driving you. And is there something that needs to be recalibrated? Because maybe you started for a reason, and as you are in the process, maybe that reason, that driver has changed and has evolved and grown with you. Maybe it's time to update it and recalibrate everything to make the growth, to make the process smoother and more enjoyable. Because every time something is off, it's like you're fighting with yourself. You fight it, like some days it does feel like I'm fighting for my life to show up on YouTube. But then I always get so much back from showing up that it makes it worth it, 1,000 times worth it. All right. You guys, I love talking about consistency, and I feel it's so simplified and often in conversation, it gets diluted to just show up every day. But it's so nuanced, and also it's so important because consistency compounds, because consistency is how you build. And also, consistency, when you are struggling with it, it's a very nice flag. Nice in the sense that it's helpful. It points you to something that is not working, that you need to adjust, recalibrate, rearrange, like uh, shift, switch, integrate, remove, clear, add to get back on track because you're driven, because you're ambitious, because you can friggin' do this. You can. If you don't know, my name is Marina. I make new videos every day to remind you that the life you desire, the life you want, is just one leap of courage away. I will see you tomorrow.